Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream. Bum, 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 bum.
Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right. So you guys are asking me a lot of questions. I just want to respond to a couple of them. You guys are asking me about the hydrocarbon law. In addition to that, currency pairing. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but I can only imagine. So I do want to respond to those as well as a couple other things. So let's get started. Before we get started, do me a favor and hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I certainly do appreciate it. You can follow me over on other platforms. I do have my own group over on Facebook called Pimpy's Investment Chat. Over here, we do talk about gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. So head on over here and join us. It's free to do so. In here, I do post updates. If I should get on suspension from YouTube or get removed from YouTube and you want to know what happened to me, I'll let you know right here in this group. I can be found on Twitter, MeWe, YouTube, and the cool thing about YouTube, if you come over here and you join and you find my channel, I got videos going back, I believe, a couple years. So if you want to see some older videos that I have on Nasera, Jacera, gold, silver, cryptos, come on over here and join. Look me up and check out my videos. You can also find me on Odyssey, catch me on Rumble. When I say that the links for all these are down below in the description, some of you don't know what I'm talking about. It's real simple. Just go down to the bottom right here of any of my videos. See this? This is the description. Hit show more. And there are all the links to all the platforms I just spoke about. So if you do want to head on over to Money Middles, just click it. And there you are. So come on over. Join us. I look forward to having you. I just want to take the time to give a shout out to Currency with a Twist. It is a new Iraqi dinar YouTube channel. For me, the more the merrier. I think it's important that you guys get your news from as many people as possible. Then you can sit back, listen to the news, use discernment, and then from there decide what is the truth and what isn't. I always love watching these new people come on the scene because they start out real humble, but we'll see where he stands once the subscribers start building up, because that's usually when people start to change. Hopefully he won't. Staying humble is the most important thing when it comes to bringing news to individuals. You have to accept the fact that you're not going to be right all the time, although I am, and realize that you're going to make mistakes. But the more information that you can bring to people outside of the regular news BS, because everybody could just read articles. I mean, I read articles all the time, the same place that everybody else gets it from. But you have to be able to take the time and educate people. That's the most important thing. So I just wanted to give him a quick shout out, because anytime you mention my name in a video, I promise you somebody's going to turn around and let me know about it. So he mentioned me in a video, and I just want to give him a quick shout out. Real quick, also, I wanted to respond to Mel. Mel, sweetie, I wasn't attacking you. I know you feel that way, but that's not what it was. Anytime anybody out there says that God told them that something's going to happen, oh, I'm definitely going to call you to the mat. You can't go around claiming that you have this voice that comes from God telling you things, and then it doesn't happen. It really just blows up your credibility. So somebody said to me, hey, have you heard Mel? God told her. Now, I don't question when anybody says they talk to God. Trust me, I don't. I believe that it talks to God. But if you're going to put out there that God told you something happened, and it doesn't happen, what's it say about you? You know what I mean? Seriously, it comes to the question. Because if God truly told you something, there's no confusion. It's like that Dave Lyons guy. What's his name? The Lion. Said, God put this thing on me, and, this is what's going to happen. And I don't know if it means a time on a clock or a date. And I was like, dude, when you talk to God, there's no confusion about what God wants you to know. And the fact that he's out there going, well, I don't know if God means a date or a time. I was like, no, he don't talk to God. It's like Jeff, the dinar investor. I haven't picked on Jeff in a long time. Remember, he used to say, it's about 3 years ago. Good Lord, time's flying. Remember, he used to say, God put it upon me. God put it upon me. I don't have no problems with people talking about God. I don't have no problem with people having a relationship with God. I think that's great, and I always encourage everybody to build a relationship with God. But if you're going to start using God in your videos and you're claiming that the information you're getting is directly from God, it better be 100% freaking accurate, all right? Because if not, then you're full of shit. So anyways, real quick, let's hear what Mal has to say.
Pimpy said, the problem is I could find no such information. There's still restrictions on the Iraqi dinar. That's not counting They're still under sanctions with the United States. This is why we see them having to get permission for the United States to do certain things. There's been a lot of good news lately coming out of Iraq, and it is exciting. I get it. But we don't want to go too far ahead of ourselves. You've got people out there talking about, he's referring to me. Thank you, Pimpy, for giving me a shout out, even though it was in a negative way or making fun of me or whatever.
Mel, I wasn't making fun of you. It wasn't in a negative way. I said God told Mel this is what's going to happen, and I brought attention to it. That's not negative. Look, when people who listen to my channel say, hey, have you heard this? And if it's something of interest to me, well, then I'm going to talk about it. The fact that God told you that there's no more restrictions on currencies, I was like, well, that's big news. If you're talking to God, that's big news. So I only wanted to highlight it. It wasn't a negative thing.
There's people out there saying God told them there's no more restrictions on the Iraqi dinar, or at least that's what Sandman said. Sandman, you can comment down below. It would seem to us that that kind of news would have been out and about real quick because that is a major...
No, Mel. You specifically said in your video that God told you.
Also, the other thing, I can't be remiss in reminding you of this, that nobody else broke until we broke it first, which was, and I'm a humble person, but God told me to tell you this. The Holy Spirit just reminded me to tell you this. This is what he said. It has been announced over here that there is no longer any restrictions on the dinar abroad, which means it's free to do whatever it's going to do very soon. This is great news for you, mate, and I broke it on a short. Go look at it.
Hello? You said God put it upon you. You said you would be remiss if you didn't say this. You said God told you. Not anything to do with Sandman. You said God told you. When people do that, you're going to get my attention real quick. So don't go all of a sudden, well, Sandman could comment down below. No, Sandman doesn't need to. You said that God told you. That's the only thing I was highlighting. Look, that's a big event. Mel, when you say God told you this, that's major. That's huge. Because God never lies. God never makes mistakes. So if God is talking to you and he told you that this is what's going on, why wouldn't I announce that? Why wouldn't I bring it to people's attention? Because God doesn't screw up. And so if God told you that this is what's going on, of course I'm going to share that. That's breaking news.
Step to have no restrictions. Getting rid of any sanctions on the Iraqi dinar would be a huge step. So he also said...
Look at you. Look frustrated, sweetie. Look at you.
Okay, so again, whatever. Guys, I don't respond to haters anymore. If you don't like me, you can just not watch.
No, Mel. Sweetie, I love you. I don't hate you. But when you start making comments like God told you, you know, just saying.
Also, the other thing, I can't be remiss in reminding you of this, that nobody else broke until we broke it first, which was, and I'm a humble person, but God told me to tell you this. God told me to tell you this. God told me to tell you this.
Has nothing to do with Mr. Sandman. Has everything to do with you saying that God told you this. So did you change your mind? Did God not tell you this? Because you claim that in your video. It's not about being a hater. I'm a huge supporter of people building a relationship with God. I love when people have a relationship with God. No problem. That's why I shared the news. I was like, wow, man, Mel don't lie. She has a relationship with God. And what did she say?
God told me to tell you this.
God told you to tell us this. Why would I not share that? I believe you have a relationship with God. But you said God told you to share this. So why you're going, Mr. Sandman said this? Comment down below, Mr. Sandman. I don't need Mr. Sandman. Mr. Sandman didn't say God told you. So no, not a hater. I was just sharing your exciting news from the glory of God. And now all of a sudden you're changing your stance, which is suspect. Anyways, currency pairing. A lot of you guys ask me about currency pairing. Say that when currency pairing happens, then they change the exchange rate. No, they don't. Currency pairing on the exchange rate means they match up with the other country's currency 1-to-1. When they say 1-to-1, that is the value of your $1 denomination versus the value of my $1 denomination. So if we say it's a US dollar versus the Iraqi dinar, what is the equivalent of my $1 versus your Iraqi dollar. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here you go. We have $1 versus the Iraqi dinar. That's how they pair them up, 1 to 1. But even though it says 1 to 1, they're talking about the value of your one denomination versus the value of this country's denomination of a $1 bill. So for $1, you get 1,308 Iraqi dinars. You can flip it around. For every $1 denomination of Iraqi dinar, which is like 1 dinar, that is equivalent to 0.0007 US dollars. So I know somebody out there said that when we do currency pairing, they have to be equal in rate. No, they don't, as you can plainly see. So what is currency pairing? In the foreign exchange market, currency pairing refers to the comparison of two different currencies. It involves the quotation of one currency against another, determining the value of one currency's relative to the other. Currency pairs are used on the forex trading, where traders speculate on the exchange rate between two currencies. These are the three types of currency pairings. Major pairs. These pairs involve the most traded currencies in the world, such as the US dollar, the euro, the Japanese yen, British pound, Swiss franc, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar. Those are just an example of a few of them. Minor pairing, also known as a cross-currency pairs. These pairs do not include the US dollar. Instead, they are consistent with two major currencies other than the US dollar. So it's like the euro versus the pound, the euro versus the Australian dollar. Exotic pairs. Exotic currencies involve one major currency and one currency from a developing or an emerging economy. These pairs are less liquid and have wider spreads compared to major or minor pairs, which is exactly what goes on with the Iraqi dinar. So currency pairing is essential for the forex traders as it allows them to analyze and predict the movement of the exchange rates between two currencies. Understand currency pairing helps traders make informed decisions when buying or selling currencies on the forex market. So apparently somebody was telling people out there in the dinar community that when they go for currency pairing, they're going to be equal in value. That's a lie. That's false. I just showed you the Iraqi dinar on a foreign currency exchange, the comparison of the Iraqi dinar to the US dollar. People are asking me about the hydrocarbon law. Look, I get it. It's a big thing. We want that to get settled, but understand this has been a dispute for many years. Many years. We're talking about the rights to control the oil and gas resources in the country of Iraq. Since they're fragmented over there in different sections and in different sectors over there in Iraq, people like Kurdistan, they believe that the oil on their land belongs to them and they should decide what happens with their oil. Where Iraq's saying, no, you're part of the Iraq nation, we should have control over what happens to the resources, okay? Somebody said something about the Iraqi people receiving payments from this. This is not about the Iraqi people receiving payments. The regions receive the money, and then from there, the regions can decide what they want to do. So if they decide to pay people, okay, more power to them. But mostly it's going to go to the expenses needed for that region to do whatever it is they need to do, whether it's maintain roads, infrastructure, help the people, food baskets, anything like that. That's why it's such a huge issue. The Iraqi hydrocarbon law is a piece of legislation that was proposed to regulate the management and distribution of the country's vast oil and gas resources. The law has been a subject of significant debate and controversy with Iraq and internationally due to its potential impact on the country's economy, political stability, and the global energy market. The main objective of the Iraqi hydrocarbon law are to establish a framework for the development of exploitation of Iraq's hydrocarbon law resources, defining the rights and responsibilities of the central government and regional authorities, attract foreign investment in the oil and gas sector, and ensure equitable revenue sharing amongst the different regions of Iraq, not the citizens, but the different regions. Now, having said that, if the region decides it wants to give it to the citizens, more power to you. But the revenue is shared amongst the regions. One of the key provisions of the law is the establishment of a federal council to oversee oil and gas policy, coordinate between the central government and regional authorities, and manage revenue distribution. The law also addresses issues related to the exploration, production sharing agreements, taxation, environmental protection, and the role of the international oil companies in Iraq's energy sector. The proposed law has been a subject of intense debate amongst various shareholders in Iraq. Some critics argue that it could lead to unfair distributions of oil revenues, exacerbate tensions between different regions such as Baghdad and Kurdistan, and undermine Iraq's sovereignty over its natural resources. Others view it as a critical step towards attracting foreign investment, modernizing the oil industry, and ensuring a fair distribution of wealth amongst all Iraqis. So when they say ensuring fair distribution amongst all Iraqis, they're not talking about that they're actually handing them out money. They're saying that the regions get the money and then the regions must do what they need to do to help the Iraqi people. So where the issue that we're running into between Kurdistan and Iraq is this. When they were fighting ISIS, Kurdistan felt like, well, they had to do their own thing. They weren't getting support from the government like they were supposed to, so they did their own thing. And then all of a sudden, Kurdistan's like, we established our own government, and we're not going to deal with your BS. We're going to do things our way. And they try to be separate from Iraq. That's where the problem started brewing from, so to speak. Kurdistan has all kinds of oil on its territory, and they felt like since they got no help from Baghdad, then they should be their own region, and they should have control of all resources on it. And this has been going on for a long time, you guys. This isn't new. This has been going on for a long time. The passage of Iraq's hydrocarbon law has been delayed multiple times due to its political disagreements and challenges in reaching a consensus amongst different political factions. Understand that that's always going to be the issue with Iraq. There's so many different factions there. Religious ones, Iranian-backed people versus Iraqi citizens, you know what I mean? There's always tensions between the different tribes. This has been going on for, thousands of years. Yeah. As a result, Iraq continues to operate under an outdated legal framework that does not fully address the complexity of its oil and gas sectors. That's what we're seeing is the issue. Baghdad is saying that's our oil as a nation. Kurdistan is saying, well, you're not really giving us what we deserve. We don't agree with that. And I told you that Barzani, before he was removed, said the Kurdistan people are willing to fight to the death over the oil rights. He's been removed. Suspicious? Yeah, I would say so. Anyways, I hope that answers all your questions. No, Mel, I don't hate you. I'm just saying, when you say those kind of comments, people believe you. And I just wanted to come over and highlight the fact that you had a divine message from God above telling you that this was going to happen, that we should focus on that and find out where it leads us to. And so far, still today, I can't find any news so-called restrictions were removed. No restrictions have been removed yet. Anyways, that's it for now. You guys let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing from you. I'm out.